Nope, wrong one. Desktop. Alrighty. I have to. Okay, what is the. I need. That's not it. I'm sorry, guys. I always forget it's not that one. There we go. Now you get a good view of my bedroom door. I'm going to set this up. Greetings all, Shardvixen here. I'm going to be creating an intro for this particular one. I had thought briefly that I might do this differently, and Tuesdays and Thursdays would be drawing art and journaling, and Wednesday nights would be comic books and Legos. But I don't think so, 'cause I think it would bug my arms too much. Sorry, I got the hiccups now. Give me a minute. Hiccups, hiccups, hiccups. Been a busy day. Been a busy day. All right, so the what we're going to do today is I'm going to start as soon as somebody shows up besides my love. There he is, Feely Boy. So I know he's very excited about the Guardians of Galaxy, and I didn't want to start without him. I would have after a few minutes, though, Feely, so don't think you're holding me up. I'm going to read this one. We're going to read number 6. And then we're going to do some, I'm just going to do some journaling art for, half an hour or so. And then my next time my stream will be tomorrow. I just don't know what time, as me and Roger have to leave the house for a little bit. I never know exactly what time I'm coming back. So that's that. I am going to try to get a cover set up pretty soon to start building an actual journal. I just don't know if this space is going to work for me. Hey, Feely Boy, thanks for stopping by. So, I don't know what. So how it's going to keep standing, and I'm going to make some intros. It'll be a while. Or even just a card that says what we're doing. Is comic book reading on Wednesdays and journaling, which is just creation of journals. I might be making a wedding journal, but I don't know, like a little gift for a wedding. I'm going to go to one of my relatives' weddings. I never get invited to any of those things, so I really wanted to go. Okay, so here we go. Guardians of the Galaxy. We are on number 5. It says Force. Remember, we look at the artwork, so I try to get it up so you can see the whole thing. Okay. This came out. I gotta get my glasses. We're not gonna read anything without glasses. 35 degrees right here right now. Okay, so this came out Volume 1, Number 5, October 1990. What were you doing in October 1990? I was working at a coffee shop. Not coffee, copy. It was a print shop. But they were using copy machines, not printing machines. Mission Impossible. Need we say more? It's a new one. Ultra dares you to defy the impossible, but if you accept, be forewarned. You and your trio of impossible Mission Force agents will infiltrate a 6th-level maze of unthinkable danger. A fortress of international evil designed to sap every ounce of your brains and brawn. At each turn, you must fend off snipers and firebomb manics, right? Elude spy cameras and robot sentries. Escape from countless enemies in hot pursuit. All in your desperate search for booby-trap clues, secret ID cards, and life-saving switches. And why? Because the worldwide terrorists known as the Sinister Seven have kidnapped Dr. O, his nuclear military defense system, and IMF agent Shannon Reed. And now they threaten to wreak planetary chaos. Luckily, your agents are well schooled in the art of espionage and possess their own favorite firebomb power. Sorry, I read that different. Firepower, from rifles to remote control cluster bombs. But that's no guarantee you'll make it past brutes. like slash Stiletto, I'm sorry, slash Stiletto, Blizzard Ski, and the Iron Claw. If by chance you do, there's always the hyperspeed boat chases through Venice. You know, they had that in Tomb Raider. Hand grenade ski runs down the Swiss Alps and prison camps in Pyrenees Mountains. Remember, should you choose to accept this mission and fail, you and your Nintendo and the world will self-destruct in 5 seconds. And that's by Ultra Games. All right. I checked the chat after each page just because I can't see the chat where I'm at, which actually I could move it. So hang on. Hang on. It'll be easier if I move it over here. I forgot I can do this. Okay, that'll be easier. Alrighty. So here we go. Stan Lee presents Guardians of the Galaxy. You're going to notice eventually we're going to hit a time period in which we don't have the newspaper print anymore. We will have this kind of material, like magazine material for comic books. It's so much nicer. Though I like the feel of this. Beyond the Pleiades, around a star that gives no light, awaits the shield for any worthy enough to possess it. So, a little back play here. We found out the Guardians of the Galaxy are after Captain America, what they think is Captain America's shield. There's another company, another bunch of bad guys called the Force, who are also after it. They've run into the Starks and all kinds of other bad guys. Now, I will mess names up. I will struggle with pronouncing things, so just be patient. And if you don't like it, then you're welcome to not watch me. If you make a comment, I'll just say I'm sorry and move on. So went the final clue in the book of Antag. The Guardians have finally pieced together. It has taken them 1 month to get here, even though they have pushed their new ship, the Captain America 2, to the very limits of its capabilities. During that time, Vance Astro's costume was sheathed in a new bendable adamantium of Martin X's and Charles' design. The star emits in the X-ray frequency. If either it or the world that orbits it has a name, it has been long since lost to antiquity. I don't think that's how you say that. The Guardians have beamed down. It means long time, like way in the past. The Guardians have beamed down to the planet's surface to claim their prize, the legendary shield of Captain America. But they are soon to discover that they are not alone in their quest. So the Guardians acquired their new ship last issue. Great. Feely, you can hear me, correct? I didn't check if I have a sound check, so I can, but I'm just going to assume you can hear me. Okay, so this is one of those big ones. So, all right, we have entered the Guardians of the Galaxy. You are welcome here. You know us? Affirmative. You are Matrix, last survivor of Earth's colony, Martin X, last survivor of Earth's colony on Pluto. You have the ability to project heat and cold. Next to you is Nikki, agile sharpshooter from the lost colony on Mercury. Charlie 27, the planet Jupiter, is your group's pilot and military strategist. Then there is Alita, Arcturian, wielder of solid light, and Yondu of Centuria 4, Earth's only extrastellar colony, master of the Yaka arrow. Major Vance Astro, mutant survival of Earth's 20th century. And finally, Starhawk, he who is the one who knows. Yeah, well, you seem to know who we are, all right, but we don't know you. We can't even see you. I have no physical form, Major, but I am within the machinery that surrounds you. I am Mainframe, and I know why you have come. But before you can lay claim the prize of Antag, there is a force to reckon with. Okay, and so we have Stan Lee presents Steve Montanto, ink slapping, Kenny Lopez, letter wrapping, Evelyn Stein, color whapping. Okay, what happening? Craig Anderson, hand clapping, Tom DeFalco, galaxy mapping, and Jim Valentino, always napping. That's cracked me up. Again, if I mispronounce anybody's names, I apologize. Okay, thank you, Feely. Just what exactly do you mean by a force? There is a group of others who have also come looking for the shield. Like you, they have searched long and hard to find their way here. They must be the ones who kept beating us to the clues. But they're murderers. We've seen what they've done to over a dozen worlds, seen in issue 1. Indeed, if such is their nature, it will become self-evident in the contest. I can't believe that a being of pure intellect would propose something so banal as a tug of war to decide the possession of this artifact. There are many forms of strength, Arcturian. The shield must go to the one who is most worthy. Are you then unwilling to agree to my terms even as they are? No. There is only one worthy enough to carry the shield into the battle, and he stands here by my side, and we will accept your contest. Excellent. Whoa, Yondu, you don't have the Thor... Marty, Charlie, they're gone. They just disappeared right before our eyes. But to where? But to where?
To their death.
One would hope. Oh, we've already seen this one. Never before has a force of one been so powerful. Introducing Wrath of the Black Manta. Okay, that's another Nintendo game. Part 1. Where indeed. No doubt the missing Guardians are wondering the same thing as they find themselves suddenly transported to a sprawling labyrinth of tunnels. Charlie 27 and Martinex versus Broadside and Brawl. I think that's how you say Brawl. Authority to what? We've obviously been transported to our arena, Marty. But I didn't feel the usual tingle associated with teleportation. No, nor did I, but here we are, so we'll just have to assume that's what happened. Be careful of these tunnels. Every one of them is a good place for an ambush.
Too bad they didn't have to fight in a lake of lava.
Well, one of them would have survived. I don't know about the other one. Walls are as smooth as glass. Might be a good conductor for your thermal powers. Other than that, there's really no chance of making a weapon. You won't need that, sweetums. What the? Commercial time. I always say commercial, but it's really ad time. I guess because we're a video, it would be commercial time. How Columbus discovered Honey Nut Cheerios. Ooh, you can see this dates you. Nobody likes Columbus anymore. In 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue, seeking a route to faraway lands until a certain bee changed all his plans. The bee came up to Columbus, the story goes, offering him a taste of Honey Nut Cheerios. Golden honey, crunchy nuts, sound yummy, asked the bee. Columbus declared, hey, honey and nuts. Wow, what a great taste discovery. The honey and nut taste was such a delicious distraction, he sailed around and round in no certain direction. Honey Nut Cheerios. What about America? Cried the first mate. Let me finish my Honey Nut Cheerios. America can wait. If only. If only. So not being political, because now, there's things being political. We all have learned in our history books if you're, especially in college, not if you're kids, and this isn't family-friendly show, so it won't matter, that Christopher Columbus was not a nice person, as my grandchildren tell me quite repeatedly when I'm telling them U.S. history. So it would be great if he was running around in circles eating Honey Nut Cheerios. Oh, how the world would be different. Okay, so we're here. Not against a broadside, foolish woman. These are the guardians of the galaxy. I must show them no mercy. Oh, believe me, bro, I don't intend to. I haven't seen a huck of a man like that one since I left Morbius. Tell you what, you take the little crystal one and the big guy's all mine. I really like her outfit with the stars in it. It's kind of cool. Okay, so we have to put this one here because it goes across instead of down. Ah, brow. Still as charming as ever, I see. I'm flattered you remember me, Guardian. They first met in Thor's Annual 6. Craig. How could I forget? Whatever happened to that group of losers you were with? Eh? I got a better offer. The Minions of Menace is the other group. A better offer? From Force? You should have stayed with the Cormac, bro. He went on to bigger things. See Avengers number 167 to 177. Footnote. Happy Craig. It will appear you do not remember our last battle as well as I. At least you know your thermal powers are inofficial against an intangible. And since our last bout, I've increased my powers somewhat. Now I can make other things intangible. What? Caught me unprepared. Can't stop my fall. Can you guys see? Ooh, my, but you are a cute one, aren't you? You know, we don't have to fight, big boy. What would you suggest we do? Dance? Depends on where you want to dance, cutie. Look, lady. Broadside. You're kidding. Would I kid you? The first rule of the military service is yes. So, for those people who like thick women, she is pretty dang thick. Granted, she's an alien, but you know, hey. We're all very, and a bad girl. Don't fraternize with the enemy. Slap. He assumes his backhand will be more than enough to knock down a woman this large to unconscious. He assumes incorrectly. You slapped me. Great. Ganmeria. She's still standing. You don't want me? It's not like that, Broadside. We're supposed to be adversaries. We could have been so good together. We could have had so much fun. Now, that's one of those people where they meet you on the first time and are very odd after that. I have met men that did that to me because you were nice to them and all of a sudden they've decided that you are their best buddy. You just made a big mistake, Cupcake. You see, my powers stem from a planet's gravitational field. Hardcock's bones. She's crackling with energy. I can channel a planet's gravity into my body and know what happens then, doll boy? Meanwhile, whoomp. Whole body racked with pain. Lost even more shards from my back this time. Got to get to my feet. That's it, Guardian. Don't make it too easy for me. I'm not down yet, bro. It'll take more than your worthless hide to stop me. Nonsense! Ah! Pain, excruciating. Are you ready to admit defeat, Guardian? No. Never. No. I hoped to catch him while he was solid, but he's too fast. Ha ha ha. I really should give you a sporting chance, considering you're weak in condition and all. I used it to increase my strength proportionally. Baroom! It is as if a planet has grown a fist and slugged him. Here, Were it not for Charlie's 27 military training to roll with the punch, the blow would have surely decapitated him. But then, I never had a very sporting... Okay, but then I never was a very sporting fellow. Arrgh! Suddenly, his shattered body is teleported out of harm's way, much to Brawl's chagrin. Is that how you said that word? I don't know. Hey, Darby. Thanks. Toast to you, too. All right. Ad time. Bad guys be warned. Captain Planet and the Planeteers are coming to TV. Join the Planeteers and the power is yours. All action adventure starts the weekend of September 15. Check your local TV listings for details. The power is yours. That was one of my daughter's favorite shows, though technically when she started watching it, it was reruns. My little corner down here. Please recycle. Okay. Charlie 27 is knocked back through the wall after metal wall for over 1.5 miles. He will feel the effects of this one blow for a long time to come. But for now, the 5th generation Devonian military man feels nothing at all. He is teleported away before ground broadside can finish what she began. And when he finally regains consciousness, every bone in my body hurts, especially my jaw. Guess we lost that round, Marty? Marty! End of part 1. Captain Planet ruled. He did. So, okay, here's that. This is another one. I'm only going to do this one again because some people probably didn't see it the first time, but then I probably won't do it again. So, Bonk's Adventure. A long, long time ago, later than you think and sooner than you know, there was a strange and terrible kingdom. Help! Bonk, save me! I wouldn't want to be King Drool's shoes once Bonk bonks his way to him. Bonk, that crude K-boy will never make his way here. I've seen to it. You're mine, princess. You must be joking. Nothing can stop Bonk. She's not talking, though, through her crown either. Bricks and stones may break my bones, but not when I bonk them with my head. I'm sorry you won't be able to see all that. Wow, that's, you really using your head. Bonk. Whoa, I wasn't counting on you showing up. Screech. I'm counting the pay King Drool gave me to stop you. I'm working for him now. Bonk, over here. Rawr. I don't have enough power yet for a head-on collision with you, but I will when I pick this flower. Whoosh! And charge up with meat and other good things and go nuclear. Yikes! The terrible T-Raptor head. It's one thing after another in this place. To bonk him, I'll need another flower for twice the power. Chomp, 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 chomp. Oops, it's a Venus bone trap. I'm stuck. I'm doomed unless you say bonk so he can rescue me in the all-new TurboGrafx X16 Bonk's Adventure. It's a game. We only read the advertisements because that's cute to go back in time. Part 2. Yondu and Nikki versus a Photon and Scanner. Okay, I'm going to say it again. Sometimes my brain moves faster than my mouth and things get all mucky muck. Sometimes my mouth moves faster than my brain and things get all bucky buck. Holy stars, it happened to us too. So it would appear, Nikki. Be prepared for anything. I was born prepared, Finhead. Look, what say we climb one of these rocks and get ourselves a vantage point? If our opponents have beaten us here, they would have already done so. Better we wait for them here. Not this little girl. I'm going up with or without you. You should listen to your flame hair warrior. What? By Athros, this is impossible. Okay. So he thought he was the only one. Yondu did, so. You wear the Cospas, male. Were you expecting me? You seek to have me as your mate? No, I wasn't, but it's my time. I have come of age. How is it I could not feel you? Okay, so we got notes from the editor. The Cospa and the earrings Yodan wears, worn by both male and female centurions. One is exchanged to the other during the marriage or joining ceremonies. Archbiological Anderson. Okay. It's one of the writers. The way has long since been purged from my soul. I no longer feel resonance with my fellow centurions. Indeed, I had hoped you were all dead. No, this cannot be true. But it is. You will not now destroy me as... Will you not now destroy me as you would any heretic? No, I cannot. You are the circle's only hope. Our race depends on you. I must know. Who are you? I am Yondu. I am now called Photon. My tribal name is long forgotten. I was taken from Centuria 4 long ago. Yondo, you got to take her out. If you don't, I will. I am no longer one with the circle of life. Hey, Unkep. Thanks for stopping by. Abracadabra. Oh. A la peanut butter jelly sandwiches. Are you having peanut butter jelly sandwiches? I made lasagna. You are Yandu. Just been rocking turkey, ham, and cheese sandwiches, you think? So, I homeschool my grandsons. This has started since November. I mean, I've helped them in the past, but we've actually sat down and created a classroom. And one of the activities that they do is they pull out of a box their choice for, in a drawing, they pick different types of food. Then they have to look for the recipes, and then they're supposed to go with me to buy the food, but that hasn't worked out lately just because of the weather and stuff. And then we pick a night. Usually it's Tuesday night, which is family night, but everything was very busy yesterday. So today, my one grandson picked lasagna, so we made lasagna from scratch. And my other grandson is making homemade hot chocolate and whipped cream because one got drinks and one got pasta. We don't tell them what to look up and make. They have to look up the recipes themselves. And they have to write down all the ingredients. And then after we make it on Friday, we write down everything that you would have to buy because some things we didn't have to buy. And we price them out. And then they do their math stuff. And they take it out of their budget because they're given a cooking budget. Yeah, family night. In the past, we would play a game, watch a movie together, and have dinner. Since my son has turned 18, we kind of do, he comes over usually every Tuesday, but he has midterms this week, so he didn't come over. It was my sister's birthday today, but we celebrated it yesterday and took her out, so no one felt like cooking. But usually we pick a movie. We're going to watch Venom, the new Venom. So we'll do that next Tuesday. We're reading a biography, history biography, The Killing of the Moonflowers, which is about the Osage Native Americans being killed off for their oil rights in the 1920s. And there's a movie for it, so I'll probably sit down with the boys and we'll watch that. But yeah, so my days are a little more busy than they used to be. All right, so my favorite character of the Guardians Galaxy was Nikki. Later they got more. And they have a brand new Guardians of the Galaxy since, I would say in the 2000s or probably the 2010s, the teens, 2010s. That has some really great characters in it, including a lot of them from the movie. But these original Guardians of the Galaxies was different, just so you know. Okay, so do not concern yourself with the photon mammal. You have your own battles to worry about. Oh, yuck. A lizard. I am not a lizard. I am a snark. Womp. Snark, Skrull, Bandu. Doesn't matter. You're all the same to me. Sneaky, creepy, slimy, no good, egg-laying, cold-blooded lizard. Is that my hot chocolate?
Well, there's not enough for everyone to have some, so.
Oh, I didn't need any. If you wanted it.
Like,
ooh, it's hot.
It is. It's not hot though once you drink it. It wouldn't stiffen. But I think because it was such a low amount
Yeah, in the whipped cream.
In the whipped cream thing, that then with the machine it wouldn't.
Yeah.
So it did better once I was whisking it, but I can't whisk it enough to get it continuous.
Yeah, or to
and then
get
it was
the peaks.
over whisking, so now it's almost like the soft tops instead, which is fine because it still adds to it.
That was good. It's
And
hot
also the
chocolate
hot
turned
chocolate-
out, right?
No, well, so the hot chocolate was not chocolatey enough, so we
added
voted
some of the
and
other-
added some of the mix as well.
I use dark chocolate. They did, and that recipe is not a good recipe.
Well, and not only that, but I don't like that one as much. The one that's in there, I like. I hate saying it, but I like Hershey's more for that.
That chocolate is, I do 1 tablespoon for two tablespoons of sugar. I add a little bit of vanilla, and then I add my milk, and then I add hot water. I do not make it in the saucepan because that's like cocoa.
Yeah.
And the milky stuff, and I'm not into milky stuff. You got some candid photos today of your lady's youngest wrapping you as a Valentine's Day. Had to take 5 to collect myself. Oh, that's so cute. You got to share them on Unkept's thing. We like cutie things. We're going to make Valentine's cards next Friday for Valentine's Day. The boys will. We did painting for my sister's birthday. They made a big giant card and paper with my gel plate, and I made an envelope and put her present in it. So, all right. And I hate lizards. Thanks, Unkempt, for stopping by. If you hang on, I will make you a thing. Also, my daughter did say she's going to listen to some of your music on YouTube, and if you come, we'll come to see you. So, if Roger said that he'd go, but you'd have to put him someplace where there wasn't a crowd to listen. So, it is what it is. It is what it is. Okay, did I not do that right? There he is. Okay, everybody, go check out Unkempt. He loves to play Satisfactory. So if that's something you're interested in, go do that. He also likes to play Green Hell. I just want to say Green Hill. He'd come. He told me. I was asking him about it because I told him what I told you, and I told my daughter, and she was like, yeah. So if you get close to us, which would be Eugene. We live in Eugene, and then Salem is an hour away. Portland is 2 hours away. Vancouver is a little bit over 2 hours because it's on the other side of Portland, across the river. Any of those we can come to. California is a little more iffy if you're not doing Northern California. Southern Oregon's a little iffy. Just depends because of the time of the weather is because of snow. And then going to Bend or Pendleton, both of those are a little further away. And Bend, because of the snow, can't go anywhere until the summer. So I just don't like driving the snow. All right, okay, I don't know how old you guys are, but does anybody remember the Science Fiction Book Club? Now, if the 90s was your thing, then if the 90s was your thing, then maybe not. I think I got them in the 90s too, but as soon as I found out about in the back of this, I sent away for this, and I would do books, and you'd get hardcover books of these different things. You got to pick them out here. And this one says, forget the girl, you'll get your paws on 5 books for $1 when you join. And then you'd have to buy them for regular price, which was like $15. But you get the first 5. And I bought a whole bunch of them. I have a lot of hardbacks from this time era. A lot of Piers Anthony. A lot of Anne Crafty. Just lots. I just buy books. I've lost some of them since I moved. My comic books are probably the only thing I've keep dragging. And my books. I do have books. But here's what you get when the membership's accepted. 5 books for $1 plus a free club tote. Send no money now. You'll be billed $1 plus shipping and handling when your membership is accepted. Guarantee of satisfaction. If you're not 100% satisfied with your books, return them within 10 days at our expense. Membership will be canceled, and you'll get you'll be owed nothing. You'll even get your dollar back. The club tote is yours free to keep. The free club magazine, you'll receive 14 issues a year. Each issue includes 2 featured sections plus a number of alternatives. Twice a year, you may also receive offers of the science selection, special selection. Shopping made simple. To get the... Oh, I don't have my glasses. That's what the problem is. I'm like, why can't I see this? And where did they go? I don't know where my glasses went. I was like, I'm trying. Yeah, you'll give you a heads up when you were making your way. Cool. Have a good time, Darby. Thanks for stopping by. All right, so enjoy your fun time and Valentine times. Okay, so here it goes. Shopping made simple. To get the feature select and do nothing, they'll be sent automatically. Yeah, so if you don't say no, you don't want it, they just send you one. If you prefer another book or none at all, simply return your member reply form by the date shown. A shipping and handling charge is added to each order. An easy-to-meet obligation. Take 1 year to buy 4 more books at regular low club prices. Afterwards, you may resign anytime. Huge discount. 65% off publishers' hardcover editions. Club books are sometimes altered in size to fit special presses. Risk-free return privileges. If you get an unwanted book because your club magazine came late and you had less than 10 days to decide, return it at our expense. The interesting thing is that some of these books are worth money now because they were only made for the science fiction club. So it's kind of cool if you have some of them. Not a lot, but some of them. All right, here we go. That double dose of phaser fire ought to slow him down for at least a little while and give me the time I need to climb. Oh, why did they have to pair me off against a lizard? Why? Memories cut through the young Mercurian, slashing open wounds yet unhealed. She sees through her own 7-year-old eyes the horror of the genocide of her home world at the hands of the reptilian Bandu. And her hatred for this creature grows. Foolish mammal, you cannot escape me. I am called Scanner, Scaleless One. Mine is the power to track any living being. My radar can see your movements even behind the rocks. You cannot hide from me. For you see, we snarks were hatched climbing rocks. Oh yeah? Well, you just come on ahead, monster, 'cause little Nikki's here waiting for you. Once I load this extra charge into my phaser, it'll have so much power, I'll cremate you where you stand, cold-blooded creep. Tell me, warrior, would you seek to enslave me with cubs in my pouch and your day's catch on my fire? We are the last of our kind. We must complete the circle of life. It is our sacred duty. You are a deluge. You cling to a way of life long dead. The circle is broken for now and forevermore. Our race is dead, as well it should be. No, so long as we live, there is still hope. We can rebuild our world, you and I. We can renew our lives. Don't you see that we must? I only see we must battle. No, I will not fight you. Then you are a fool, warrior, and I will see you die. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Are you not a warrior, guardian? Will you not battle me? Zrap. Ah! No, I will not fight you. Then you will surely die. Can you not see, woman? I am dead already. Oh, no. Wow. That's it, you lumbering oaf. Come just a little closer. You cannot hide, flame hair. Oh, I don't tend to, lizard. I was just waiting until you got close enough to do this. Scrah! Ah! Ka-thump! Now, just in case you somehow survived that monster, crack. She was my favorite character. Oh. Dragon slaying, Game Boy action, web slinging, dragons and danger, the incredible saga of wizards and warriors, centuries on game continues on Game Boy as Kuros battles slithering serpents, giant skulls, and the evil wizard Malcolm himself. Spidey action. Command the ultimate superhero in bouts of web-slinging, wall-climbing action through city streets and over rooftops. Battle the likes of Mysterio, Dr. Octopus, and more. Acclaim. And this is also a Nintendo game. There's a lot of Nintendo games I've forgotten about. I didn't play Nintendo games when the comic books. I don't think I got a Game Boy. Because I got a Game Boy and I don't remember when I got a Game Boy. And I didn't have my Nintendo at a certain time. I didn't get it till, I think, in December of 1990. Maybe. I might have gotten it after that. But I'm pretty sure it was before I had my daughter. So it would have to have been either in December or somewhere before, July. Okay. See if you can survive this. As Nikki brings the spear down on the reptile with all her might. The vengeful Mercurian disappears. Meanwhile, he is everything I've been taught to despise. The old customs of the old world, a society I've spent a lifetime denying. A world that will only pass into history with his death. Again, her eyes begin to glow with her hatred and with her power. But before she can loose their destructive energy, Yondu disappears. Lucky him, huh? Awesome! Score! The intelligent choice. Incredible action photography. Hottest rookies. Radical specialty cards. Top superstars. Bodacious card design. Special score classic set offer. NFL football young superstars player and trivia cards. 40 glossy player cards plus 5 trivia cards. I wonder if they're worth anything now. I don't have any of those. But 40 of the top NFL young players are in this exclusive glossy score set with full color photographic. What can I say that? On each side. Photographic. No. Also, 5 Magic Motion Super Bowl trivia cards to quiz you. 2 orders, send 5 1990 score football wrappers, a check or money order for $5 payable to Major League Marketing, along with your name and address on a 3x5 card mailed to NFL Young Superstars. Below is a partial list of players. You would get Barry Sanders, Sterling Sharp, Bobby Humphrey, Deion Sanders, maybe, Deion Sanders. That one sounds familiar. Andre Rizan, Mark Carrier, Keith Jackson, and Flipper Anderson. That was 1990. I don't know if any of those people ever became anything interesting, All right. Seconds later. Die, monster! Yondu! Stopped just in time. But how? Just a second ago, I was standing over that monster and then... Oh, my stars. I almost killed him. Yondu, are you alright? No. She has stolen my soul. Oh, you're saying... What? How could she steal your... He's crying. What do I do now? I can't hold him. I'd only burn him. She cannot understand the depths of his beliefs, but she can feel his pain at their betrayal. And suddenly, their silence is shattered by, No! Chunky! Charlie, what's wrong? It's Marty! He's dead! To be continued. Next issue. Wow, cliffhanger. Ooh. All right, so here's our reader space. Remember, now we've already did our history, so now we're doing letters from the readers. Hi, babe. What's up? Okay. You want to tell Roger? Roger. Lasagna's ready.
Hi. Okay.
I won't have some later, love. Not right now. Okay, so attention correspondence. All letters considered for publication must include your name and address, though we will withhold the information upon request. And then you can write. This is where you would write. So, Guardians of the Galaxy. Again, gluttons for punishment, eh? The connection to the Marvel universe, the Stark, and the quest for Captain America's shield is good. Perhaps it was the lack of same that was responsible for the previous cancellations, so maybe this time. As for the letters page, I like reader space, and I love the homage. I like reader space, and I like the homage to the old Justice League American letters page picture. I wonder how many of your readers recognize it. So they're saying up here, this was the Justice League. Justice League of America. Yeah, so. I wonder if who lives at these addresses now. Maybe the same people, so. Quite a few, Bob. We trust that everyone will appreciate our heartfelt homage to one of the favorite books from our misspent youth and the creators who made it great. The late Garter Fox and Mike Sekowski. Kowalski. Okay. Dear Space Hoppers, after having the Guardians fight the Stark, why don't you have them go after the Forbush, a race where everyone wears a pot on their heads? Mark Phillips. We like the way you think, Mark. Dear Craig and Renee, Guardians of the Galaxy is proving to be a very enjoyable series, somewhat surprisingly, as I am not a big fan of futuristic heroes. It would be interesting to see more familiar elements crop up as this book goes. We've already seen the Fire Lord is still alive, but what about certain other immortals like Thor, Ego, Star Fox, and the Stranger? Where are Quasar's Quantum Bands or Daredevil's Billy Club? Maybe not. I wouldn't be too surprised to find that Wolverine is still alive in the 31st century. Imagine fan reaction if he was actually killed. That's some guy from England, Raw Hurst. We have been literally deluged with the request to show the fate of virtually everyone in the entire Marvel Universe role. Obviously, we simply can't show everyone, but we do intend to show quite a few and to introduce you to some new characters like Force in this issue as well. The fate of Wolverine will be touched on briefly in issue 9. As for the Quantum Bands, well, now let's just say that you're not the only reader who's asked about them. Dear Guardians, I have a few questions I hope you can answer. 1. Will we ever see the Earth of the 31st century or other heroes of 3017? 2. Why would Yondu be able to sense another Centurion? 3. Nikki's file in the Marvel Universe Handbook says that she styles her hair in a pompadour flame, but several times we've seen what looks like sparks coming from her head. Is that hair? And that was Brian Klotz. Hey, Resident Drake. Oh, got an ice pack on a Mistio bike? Those always suck. Hopefully you don't catch anything. 1. So 1 was the will we ever see Earth? Yes and yes. So we will see the heroes of 3017. It has to do with what Yondu calls the Circle of Life. Essentially, his people believe that they are all connected to their belief in their god Anthros, and that they are all part of the larger whole, which they call the Circle. 3, which was about Nikki's hair. Most Marvel Universe entries on the Guardians are erroneous, taken that they were from the Avengers files. The Avengers, being products of the 20th century, had to make the best guesses when it came to the 31st century science and physiologically. I know it means body. We hope to update the entry soon. Guardians of the Galaxy. So far, Guardians 1 and 2 have been great. The action has been non-stop and has moved fluently from page to page. But there are a few points I'd like to bring up. 1. What are the Guardians' stand on killing? We already know that Althea doesn't like to kill, and it seems that Yondu is like that as well. But on the other hand, both Charlie and Nikki show incredible savagery. 2. Please get rid of this reluctant leader bit with Martin X. It seems that eventually Starhawk will assume leadership the majority of time, since he has both the ability and ambition. Okay, so that was Ming S. Chin. 1. The Guardians will kill when necessary, Ming. Some, like Nikki and Charlie, are more disposed in that direction. Martin X is the group leader by default, since he is the only member of the team to get along with everyone. Starhawk, on the other hand, is not well liked by his peers, mostly due to his aloofness and condescending attitude towards the others, two attributes that make for a poor leader indeed. Dear GOTG crew, thanks for the great first issue. My favorite character is Starhawk, as he seems to be the one of the most mysterious characters yet. I'm curious to know if the possible future presented in the Guardians is the same as the one featured in Amazing Spider-Man Annual 20 and Iron Man 250. Peter Kitch from Potter Valley, California. I don't know what that's at. Potterville Valley. Not necessarily, Petey boy. The Guardians timeline diverges from the current mainstream. Marvel timeline is Marvel 2-in-1, number 69. This is why Marvel Boy of the New Warriors and our own Vance Astro are not the same person. Our timeline encompasses the War of the Worlds as viewed in that Killareva series in the Amazing Adventures. Other futures, such as the Days of Future Past from the X-Men and Dargo story in Thor, etc., are from the different alternative timelines. Which is the real future for the Marvel Universe? You ask? Well, according to the Watcher, they all are. Next issue. The remaining Guardians and members of the Force face off in a battle of deadly proportions. We aren't going to tell you who wins, but you might find a clue on the next issue's cover. Also, we learn the secret of the mysterious main flame. See you in 30. All right, and then we have that where you can buy your titles. And we have Total Recall. I don't know. How many people have watched this Total Recall? I love it. It's one of my favorites, but the new one was good too. And I say the new one, but so would be the second version of that with Colin Farrell in it. They stole your mind now. Get it back. I didn't know they had a game. Here we go again. You are Quaid, aren't you? You're about to take a vacation to Mars. They're trying to kill you. It should be fun. Deadly secrets are being unlocked by your mind implant, and relaxing, only you can prevent an interplanetary catastrophe. Beware of secret agents, ninja hitmen, and robot drones attempting to destroy you. Have a safe trip. You'll never make it alive. Total Recall, the action game you'll never forget. And then on the back, we have Play Roslin's Game. Oh, so Roslins is from Dragonlance. He's the twin. He has a twin, and his twin ends up being this evil person, or he's the evil person. I can't remember which one it is. Because one of them's a knight, and the other one's a wizard. I think Roslin's the wizard. Mage Stones Game. Mage Stones is an exciting new game from TSR that is filled with fast action and fun. This new game is said to have been created by Raistlin, one of the most famous wizards of the Dragonlance saga. When you play Mage Stones, you'll use your strategy, abilities, and intrigue to force other players' stones off the board. It is a quick and exciting game that's easy to learn for 2 to 6 friends of all ages. Available now at your local hobby shop. Pick up your copy today. So, one of the interesting things about the 80s and 90s was a lot of sci-fi books ended up having games that were attached to them. Like Thief's World is one. Okay, we're going to read number 6 now. Thief's World, I think it's the one I remember the most. But Cyberpunk is another one, I think. But I don't know if it came out then or later. So, okay, so now we're going to do number 6. And then we'll do 7 and 8, and then 9 and 10. So in 2 weeks, we will finish the Guardians of the Galaxy. I think that when we finish the Guardians of the Galaxy, I was going to do Doom Patrol, but I think I'm going to introduce X-Men, and then we'll introduce Doom Patrol. Because X-Men, they oversee so many other different books, including Wolverine, so... But that's my one DC that I tend to have consecutive of. It'd be Doom Patrol and Sandman. I have to think about whether we can read Sandman or not, because Neil Gaiman has been accused of sexual assault, so I have to kind of think about how I want to do that. I have done other reviews and stuff of people who turned out to be not nice people after they produced their art, so It could be that we just read 10 comics books, and if somebody complains about it, I'd say, well, I bought those comic books in the 80s and the 90s. Well, the 90s was when Sandman came out. That doesn't make it any better or any worse. I always have to think about that, though, how I'm going to do that. All right. Guardians. Okay, so this one is a nicer looking comic book than my other ones. Also been in its thing. Guardians of the Galaxy. And to the Vector, the Shield. No! Featuring the unparalleled villainy of Force. Okay. These covers are been made by Valentino, just so you know. Explore the Marvel reviews of the 1st century. This is number 6. Number 6 came out November 1990. There's the Wrath of the Black Manta. They were selling that one a lot during the... It makes you wonder how much one of these costs to buy. Because they sure did shell out a lot of money, huh? Okay. Having traveled halfway across the galaxy in search of the legendary shield of Captain America, the Guardians of the Galaxy have at last located it on a nameless world. The planet is a worldwide sentient computer known only as Mainframe, who is also the keeper of the shield. Upon their arrival, the Guardians discover that another group known as Force had also come to claim the ancient Earth artifact. In an effort to determine who was the most worthy of the shield, Mainframe devised a series of contests. Each group was split into teams of 2 and teleported to different locations. So, the Guardians, we have Altia, Charlie 27, Martin X, Nikki, Starhawk, Vance, Astro, and Yoda. For Force, we have Broadside, 85, Interface, Tachyon, Photon, and Scanner. Each team would do battle with only Mainframe keeping score, and to the victor. So right now we know that he lost, she won, and he lost. So there's only one win on there so far. Exceptional inking by Steve Mantano. Transcendent lettering by Kenny Lopez. Superlative. Coloring by Evelyn Stein. Exquisite editing by Craig Anderson. Invaluable chiefing by Tom Delfalco. Okay story and art by Jim Valentino. Okay, so this is a big open spread one too. I have been thinking I might invest in a couple of months. I have to check them for a overhead stand. I had talked about it before, and a camera, but I have to look and see what kind I want to get because I need to be able to zoom it in and out. So the camera I have right now does not do that. The camera I have is just for face, but it is better than nothing. So we're at part 3. Starhawk and Althena versus 85 and Tachyon. Minutes ago, Charlie 27 and Martin X were teleported out of the huge antechamber in which the Guardians of the Galaxy first met the planetary computer Mainframe. They were quickly followed by Nikki and Yondu. Now it is their turn. By the Ring Nebula. Look at the size of this place. I have not seen an enclosed area this large since I left I always get this one wrong. Arturus. It happened in last issue for you and me, said Craig. Yes, it was here that the former inhabitants of this planet built the starships, within which they escaped this world, my wife. It is an innocuous and an endearment from one spouse to another as there can be, and yet the words hang coldly in the air and cause Althea's flesh to crawl with the anger she has held in check for far too long, an anger unvoiced until now. If you remember, her children died. Don't call me that. Don't ever call me that again, Starhawk's real name, Craig. But you are my wife, Altina. No, not anymore. Why do you think it is that I've avoided you this month we have been separated? Why do you think I changed my raiment so it no longer resembles yours? I guess her outfit. I'll tell you why, oh Heidi, mighty one who knows. You've kept me locked inside for years, never letting me out unless you were forced to. But that wasn't your greatest sin, Starhack. Guardians number 3. You killed my children, Altina. That's absurd. Your father killed the children, not I. You didn't stop it. I couldn't. My energy was drained. I was too weak. Don't you think that if there was any way for me to help them, I would have? Marvel Presents. Okay, so I have Marvel Presents. I don't know if I have number 11. If I have it, we can read it. But I have Marvel Presents. I don't know if it's a new or old one. Gargoyles. Graphics so real you'll forget it's only a game. Gargoyles Quest. Dazzling graphics, excellent sound, bring a whole new dimensions to the Game Boy. So I got a Game Boy. I don't remember when I got one. I know I've had a Game Boy Advance all the way up until like 2009. My Game Boy Advance was one of my favorite. Did a lot of pictures and stuff with it. Little flip thing. Enchantment and excitement awaits you in the Gargoyles Quest. Prepare to do battle as Firebrand and the last guardian gargoyle of the Ghoul Realm. You must act quickly to defend your world against the invading army of destroyers. Fight your way through enemy forces to reach the dimensional portal that leads to your home world. Once there, the true nature of the quest begins. The king of the Ghoul Realm has been kidnapped, and it's up to you to save him. Blast the attackers with fiery breath as you fly through their defenses. Unravel the mystery of this multi-level universe to succeed in conquering the destroyers and freeing the captive king. Highly detailed artwork sets new standards for the Game Boy. Advanced playability highlighted with 360-degree scrolling. Hours of entertainment await you in this diverse adventure. Whew. I gotta take a drink. A drink. I need a drink. Alrighty. Some of their outfits was just very interesting to me. They were my children too. That's not good enough, Starhawk. You were supposed to be the one who knows. Where was your vaunted clairvoyance when it was needed most? Stay away from me, Starhawk. I'm warning you. What? A wall of metal rises to block my path? But how is this possible? Not even Stakar has the power. Who? Please allow me to introduce myself, fair lady. The name is 85. Absolute master of magnesium. It's the stuff that Magneto has. Magnetism. My diminutive associate here is called Tachyon. We are here to be your executioners. Executioners. Everybody wants to kill everybody. So interesting. I'm having problems turning the page. Okay. High Five. 5th Anniversary Edition. Fleer basketball cards score big again in 1990. Fleer for the best in basketball. 196 card action pack basic series. 12-man Flair all-star team. 10 rookie sensation players. 5 league leader standouts. Woo-wee. I remember these. I think I have some Flairs. Not because I collected them, but because people are always giving me cards for some reason. Because they're like, comic books, oh, you collect comics and comic book cards. Here, have these. And to prove to you that I'm not merely boasting to impress the beautiful woman, note how the coils like pythons wrap themselves around your pretty neck, cutting off your oxygen. Hold on, my wife, Altina. I'm coming. This should free you from... What? That creature, Tachyon? It moved to intercept the light, but that's not... It reflected the light back at me with even greater velocity. This guy keeps getting whacked, I'll tell you. He's not very strong. I do not understand how this can be possible. The creature appears to have obtained faster than light speed instantaneously. It must be from a race of human-sized tachyons. Incredible. But even more puzzling to me than this new life form is the fact that I do not seem to recall any of this. There, the creature appears before me, seemingly out of thin air. Then my hypothesis that it exists at a faster than light speed naturally would appear to be correct. Strange, but it occurs to me only now that the creature did nothing until after I issued my light beams. Could it be that its powers are only reactive in nature? And while the one who knows attempts to assert the full intent of his diminutive adversary's powers, I am truly sorry to have to do this to you, my dear. I can think of far more pleasant ways to treat one as beautiful as yourself, but alas, this is war, and you know, sacrifices must be made. Please accept this parting gift as a token of my esteem. She's trapped like a zealot in a cage. A cage. Funny how the mind turns. My whole race was born in a cage. The slave camps of the accused Blue Creed after they had captured my pink-skinned ancestors. They stole from us our freedom, our dignity. They even took from us our family names, referring to us only by the cell block number to which we were born. I remember well how they would take whole cells, blocks, women, children, and crush them and bury them alive. They claimed it was the only way to control our population. If you think about it, this comic book is filled with a lot of depressing stuff. I cannot do the same to this woman. There can be no justification for it, enemy or not. I can only pray that I am in time to save her. What? She's gone. Disappeared without a trace? How can that be? How can it be? We all know how it is, of course. As the 89 contemplates this strange turn of events, if my assessment of this creature is correct, if its powers are truly reactive in nature, then my best defense against it would be to simply do nothing. It does not attack, but merely hovers as I do. Then I was but before Starhawk can even finish his thought, he disappears. You gotta win or lose. Only to reappear an instant later in the same antechamber that we have visited before. Last issue. Charlie, what is it? What's wrong? It's Marty. He's not dead. Look, Hawk, I'm in no mood for you, the one who knows junk. Please, my friend, stand to one side and let he who is the giver of light heal the battered flesh and end our friend's suffering. And as the light fades, a soft moan breaks the guardian's hushed silence. Starhawk, you did it. I take back everything I ever said about you, Starry. Well, almost everything. But there is one among them who does not share their joy. Photon. One whose wounds are too deep to be healed by even this light. He will subside for a very short time now, but we must get him to the ship's sick bay soon. Didn't you hear that, mainframe? Let us take him back to our ship now. And as if in response to the hot-tempered Mercurian's demand, the Guardians of the Galaxy disappear. End of part 3. I'm glad to know you're still out there, Resident Drake. Thanks for lurking. Part 4. Major Vance Astro and Interface. Well, it looks like our routing sections have arrived, Domehead. You can't beat him, Vance. Kick his you-know-what. Oh, I intend to, darling. This shield is going to be mine. Concede now, Captain. Concede now, Guardian, and save yourself any unnecessary pain. Unless, of course, you derive enjoyment from pain. The only thing I'm going to enjoy is wiping that smug look off your face just before I claim my shield. Because he's got a heart on. Like an audiobook? Yeah, but I'm not that good. But thank you. Ooh, look. Splatterhouse. It was the mansion of Dr. West, but those who knew better called it Splatterhouse. West, may have been the greatest parapsychologist in our field. But do we have to visit his old home? It gives me creeps. Think of it as a school research project. Besides, the house is empty. What could happen? Ah! Jennifer, what is it? After a fight in the dark, what happened to me? What happened to Jennifer? My head, something's wrong. I can't see what's the matter. My face is covered with the terror mask. The terror mask legend tells that the wearer is granted vast power but can't remove it. If I can't take it off, I may never get Jennifer back. Rest in pieces, you ugly slime balls. Oh yeah? Nothing can keep me from getting Jennifer back. I'm as good as dead, unless you can help Rick rescue me in the all-new Splatterhouse. Splatterhouse is a trademark of Namco. 1988, 1999. And now our sponsors. No. Fool, mine is the ability to transmute any one element into another. Power not even your adamantium lace costume can withstand, Major. Buster doesn't realize I can see elements as easily as he can see colors. He reopened my wound. A wound first received in issue 2. Great. See how with but a wave of my hand I can turn it into helium. But how could he have known? How? Unless Mainframe is working with them. Yes, Major. Even we have heard of you, and shall we say your weaknesses? Without your protective suit, you will die. Alas, no power in the universe can say me nay. That was weird. No. Now I shall be invincible. You can't win so easily. Look, love that picture right there. The Wolverine picture. One of my favorite ones is that one. I got a lot of pictures of Wolverine though. And books of him. X-Men and Wolverine is probably the one I have the most of. Of course, I can, Earther. You are hardly worthy opponent for one with my abilities. And now, Guardians, I bid you to my side. By the power of the shield, from this day forth, you shall serve the will of Interface. In a pig's eye. What? You resist the shield's power? How can this be? Perhaps there's some mechanism I need to activate. But no, I see no evidence of a dial or diode on its surface. No button to depress, no lever to pull. Still, I must have employed its power incorrectly. Perhaps if I raise it towards you and concentrate, it will release its magical energies. Oh, brother. Get real, Tranglehead. What? You still mock me? How is it that no matter what I attempt, they bend not to my will? Here's one. Become a video game superstar with these high-powered game books. Wow, that's a lot of them. We have just $9.95 each at bookstores everywhere. Mastering Nintendo something games. Winning strategies for all levels of a Nintendo play. Tricks of the Nintendo Masters. What's this one? I can't say it. Beyond the Nintendo Masters. Winner's Guide to Nintendo Game Boy. Something's Guide to Sega Genesis. Oh, I didn't know they made books like that. Kind of cool, huh? Alright, so the legend is a lie. The shield has no power. Get it, Vance. Clank. You want it, human? Take it if you can. It's no more than a worthless piece of metal. No, Interface, you're wrong. Got to make it whole body in pain. Hurts to move. Go, Vance, go. You can do it, buddy. You've got to do it. Charlie's right. I've got to do it. I can't let them down. I can't let Cap down. All my life, all my dreams, my aspirations all lead up to this moment. Just a few inches more. Yes, The shield does have power. And the 1,000-year-old man reaches to pick the shield up. Well, at least it wasn't Thor's hammer. That'd have been embarrassing. And in touching, drains henceforth unguessed strength from it. Proudly he stands where the moments before he could barely crawl. His voice seconds ago, a raspy whisper, now booms throughout the hall with renewed vigor. It was a power you could never hope to understand, Interface. It's a power that comes from compassion for those weaker than you. A power fed by the belief that all living beings are equal in the eyes of their Creator, and that everyone has the inalienable right to live their lives free from petty tyrants like yourself. A good man once owned this shield. He persevered those beliefs for me and for millions of people like me. He probably died defending those beliefs. There is no way a I can't say that, megalomaniacal, it's just like a mega eagle something, misanthrope like you could ever hope to understand a man like that. But he was my idol. I lost my ideals once. I turned my back on them, forsaking them in my own bitter self-pity. But seeing this shield, holding it, I realized their truth once again, and that is the shield's true power. And I reclaim that power for all of the men and women who died for those ideals, and for all of those who have yet to cast off their shackles of servitude and oppression. I reclaim this shield in the spirit of the man for whom it was created, Captain America. Well spoken, Major Astro. The shield is yours. Forrest, your presence is no longer required. Never approach this world again. What? How could you let them go? They're murderers. We've seen what they've done over a dozen worlds. How could you? It is not in my programming to incarcerate them, Major Astro. If they are, as you claim, guilty of crimes against life, then I assure you, they, like all others before them, will be punished in their time. Where are we, Scanner? Approximately 15 parsecs from the mainframe's planet interface. 15 parsecs instantaneously, but that's impossible, isn't it? A parsec is a distance of 3.26 light years. Astronomer Anderson. Obviously not 85, as our present here attests. I, for one, am just thankful that we are far enough away from the Guardians of the Galaxy that they should never interfere with us again. Everyone assume their positions and prepare to... Wait a second. We're more powerful than they are. We owe them. I say we go back and cream the Guardians. Then you are a fool, Brawl. It is not the function of this organization to wage vendettas against self-styled vigilantes. Ours is a profit-making enterprise, and if you choose to remain among us, you will do well to remember it. I'm with Interface on this one. If I never see the Guardians of the Galaxy again, it'll be too soon. Oh, I don't know, 85. That big one was awfully cute. Thank you for that insightful commentary, Broadside. Scanner, prepare the ship for hyperspace. There are worlds yet to plunder. Mainframe speaks the truth, Vance. We will see Force again. Accept the word of the one who knows. It's not done yet, but so this is Graffiti. These are also books and stuff you can buy. World's Coast largest comic dealers in Santa Monica. I wonder if they're still there. All these different comic books. Okay. Sorry, I'm turning the page here. Trust in him, my friend. I do now. Then you truly are worthy to carry on the dream. Of your old teammate? Yes. Do you know him, Vance? Yes, Nikki, we all do. We fought beside him against the Korvac. It's taken me a while to figure it out, but it makes sense in a weird sort of way. Remember the clue? He walked as a man in the morning, but spent the night as a world, in a variation of the riddle of the Sphinx, and in now classic Avengers 167 to 181, Guardians number 4. Isn't it, Vision? Remember Vision? Yes, Vance Astro, you are correct. In order for me to assert the strength of each of your convictions, it was necessary to determine your weakness. Thus, each of you were engaged in a test of mettle. Martin X's test was a test of courage. Though beaten, he fought on and emerged victorious. Charlie 27's was a test of cunning. He resorted to brawn rather than brain and was then outclassed, thereby losing. Nikki's was a test of mercy. She too lost by succumbing to the hatred in her soul, as did Altina, whose test was not the creed, but Starhawk. She failed to lend her former mate charity and through it forgiveness. Yondu's was a test of honor. He won, but at a terrible personal cost. Starfire's was a test of fate, this entire episode having been exorcised from his memory. But yours was the most difficult of all, Major Astro, for your very soul was tested, and you were not found wanting. Then we almost lost, didn't we? Yes. Woohoo. Okay, so here's the bullpen bulletins. Stan Sobox. Hi, heroes. Sorry, no more info about the Marvel World of Tomorrow this time. When I reread last month's column, it sounded like I was really making a heavy sales pitch. So this issue, I thought we'd cool it. Anyway, there'll be plenty of ads to keep you from forgetting. You know, I've gotten lots of letters over the past month saying that I always mention the baddie Marvel bullpen, but I've never explained exactly what it is. Well, never let it be said that I'd allow any loyal soapboxer to wander about neath a cloud of confusion and doubt. For all who so dearly long for the bullpenish enlightenment, hear now the news. As you probably know, Mighty Marvel is the world's largest employer of the greatest artists and writers in comicdom today. But most of them, in fact, almost all of them, work at home. Hardly any script writing or story illustration is done at our offices. Now I can hear you muttering, then what in the name of the Marvel World of Tomorrow, oops, sorry, goes on at that so-called bullpen? Glad you asked. The good old Marvel bullpen, located in the heart of Manhattan, in New York City, is where our artists and writers send their work or deliver it in person. It's the place where our editors and art directors work, where the story conferences are held, where the top-level planning is done, where decisions are made as to which titles to add, which to keep, and occasionally which to discontinue. It's where the cover ideas are dreamed up, where the mags are proofread, where the countless details involved in the actual production of each title are handled. It's a beehive of noise and activity and panic and passion and excitement and confusion and fun. And it's home to the most creative and talented gang of comic book wizards I've ever known. So here's to the merry Marvel bullpenders. When all's said and done, they're only the greatest. Celestial Stan. So double column of diversified consumers and the consumables. So these are all the comic books that you could get that month. Deadline Comics with Johnny Marvel. Our founder, Stan Lee, paid one of his all-too-rare visits to the Marvel bullpen the other day. He was appearing at a local convention and stopped in to do lunch with good old Johnny Marvel. We quizzed Stan about all the latest going-ons in Hollywood and were pleased to learn that Stan is just as clueless as the rest of us. Ultra-prolific artist, writer, novelist John Bryan has recently seen huddling with ex-editor Bob Harris over a projected Wolverine limited series, I have it, that John would write and draw. Megan Nice, Uba inker Terry Austin joined in one of the huddles and said he would like to embellish the project. From there, Bob went into another huddle, this time with super stylistic Mike Mignola, who expressed interest in drawing another Wolverine special edition for the next year. Bob bounced from that huddle into another one, and this time with the hyper-witty Peter David, who will be writing a New Mutants Wolverine special next year. The artist for the project in Kubert School graduate Andy Kubert. Interesting. You would think after all that, Bob would be too tired to huddle with anyone. But no, not Bob. He'll huddle with anyone. No sooner than Bob finished chatting with Peter David than he sashayed on over to Marvel's second newest Neo editor, Fabian Nick Lasagna, which I think that did some Wolverine too, but maybe it was the New Mutants. Fabian, who's taken star editor Sid Japerson's place in our editorial line, good luck at Harvey, Sid, huddled together with Bob on their plans for the New Mutants. Okay. Fabian will be taking over scripting the New Mutants with issue 97, and he will be working over plots from superstar penciler and young upstart Rob Liefeld. Rob, with enthusiasm over plans for the New Mutants, so much that the Marvel custodian had to ask them to stop because it makes such a mess on the floor. As we made our way around Marvel offices, we actually found a huddle that Bob Harris wasn't a part of. It was Punisher's editor Don Daly huddling with modern-day resident Renaissance man Jim Lee. Jim Lee is one of my favorite artists. Over the upcoming Punisher's graphic novel Rules of the Game. Jim is co-plotting, penciling, and inking the book, which Don describes as the best work Jim has ever done. Gregory Wright, who is scripting and co-plotting Rules of the Game, has intended to be part of this huddle, but had to postpone because he's embroiled in another huddle at the time. Greg's other huddle was with his co-writer Dwayne McDuffie, Duffel? I think it's Duffy. And editor Bob Budiansky. In the sky? I don't know. And the topic was the new Deadlock book, which will become an ongoing series after the macro success of the Smash Limited series. Greg is also concentrating on his move to DC. That's Washington, D.C., not DC Comics. Oh, no, that's a good one. Excuse me for a minute while I compose myself. Stepping into Greg's socks here on staff is the ultra-personal Nell Yamtov, who was a Marvel production staffer for about a decade and whose coloring has graced many a Marvel mag. Some sort of rule about replacing colorists with colorists, you understand. Nell is looking forward to doing some major league editorial huddling and reportedly has even started a night school course on corporate huddling to get ahead in the business world. Ace editor Michael Hesseler huddled with me, Johnny Marvel, thanking me once again for forgetting to mention his return to staff 5 months ago. No problem, Mike. Mike is now assistant editor to senior editor and non-Karate Kid Ralph Macchio. The two of them were set to huddle on some exciting new projects, but Ralph was strangely absent that day, so Mike had a huddle alone. While making a standard check in the Marvel office supply closet, we caught a couple of Marvel staffers who were not huddling, rather they were cuddling. It was, oops, we seem to be out of space. Now we'll have to wait. That'll have to wait till next month, if at all. Till then, this is Johnny Marvel saying, don't take any wood in comic books. Reality check. The crisis on Infinite Earths is still infinity minus 27 Earths away. Blah, 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 blah. I'm almost done with the book here, though. Okay, so here it is. Now you must all leave. Wait a minute, Vision. Mainframe. I got a million questions. How did you get the shield? Why did you leave Earth? Who is Antag? How did you come to this? The shield was removed from Earth by Dr. Doom. Doom? Yes, he considered Captain America too worthy a man to allow the shield to fall in the hands of Earth's conquerors. Hey, well, thanks for looking. We're almost done there with this one. Antag was a servant of his, a space wanderer who revealed in a puzzle making and thus left clues for you to find, Major. I left Earth after the War of the Worlds, seeking to bring back the mutants who had left some years earlier to avoid extermination. Yeah, we found their base on Europa back when we first formed the Guardians, but they were long gone, as they were when I arrived there, so I continue my search in the untold tale of the Guardians' early days. Craig. And over time I found my way here. The beings who once inhabited this planet had long fled, having been warned of the coming of the Galactus by the Keeper, but their machines continue to function without them. I interfaced with their central terminal, eventually I know that one. relinquishing my humanoid form. And the mutants, did you ever find them? Eventually, yes. Though having no body, I could no longer join them. And in truth, no longer sought to. The danger to Earth being long past. Can you tell us where they are? The coordinates are being programmed into your ship computer now. That's great, mainframe. At last, we'll be able to realize one of our group's earliest objectives. Blah, 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 blah. So, at last, we'll be able to find the lost colony of free Earthmen, and after all these years, we'll do it together as a group, as the Guardians of the Galaxy. The Guardians' original mission way back in Marvel Superheroes 18 January 1969. Ask Anderson anything. And the adventure is only beginning. Next issue. Okay, so next issue we meet one of my favorite villains in the Guardians of the Galaxies. Malevolence and the Secret of Malevolence, yeah. And the Secret of Starhawk. She's one of my favorite. You'll figure it out later why. Okay, so here's our reader's space. Dear Guardians, well, so far so good. In the first 3 issues, you found a loyal fan in me. The storyline really caught my interest and the art is top notch. But what has really sold me on this comic is the characters and the personalities that Jim has given them. They are all different and unique and mesh well as a team. I'd like to thank Jim for a job well done. The other Guardian stories that I have read were very ordinary. There was no real characterization and the art didn't really stand out. The group did have potential, but they were shuffled off to comics limbo too soon. Thankfully, Jim Valentino came along and realized that potential. I would also like to thank Jim for giving Charlie 27 a new costume. Now he's the best looking Guardian of all, except for Nikki. Wow, what a babe. Now, if you just changed his name, Charlie 27 sounds more like a name for a robot. Call him Powerhouse or Physique or something. I also hope that a romance grows between him and Nikki. I really like the ties to the 20th century as it really helps to establish the group into the Marvel Universe. But don't get too carried away with it. So far, you've got a good mix between 2 centuries. Keep it that way. I would like to see the Eternals, Beta Ray Bill, the Shire Empire, her and the her and the Space Knights of Galador in upcoming issues. As for new members, I'll leave that up to Jim since Althea is a good start, if you can call her a new member. However, I would like to see Regalia Recorder join the team for a while. Think about it. Todd Sutherland from Canada. Let me get a drink of water. And remember, you guys can ask me questions about the older Marvel Universe. I know most of the questions. If I don't know all of them, I do have a way of finding out about them. Okay, so there is no current plans for the Recorder, Todd, but a new Guardian will be joining the team right around issue 12 or 13. As for the tides to the 20th century, so far they seem to be falling into 3 categories. Those who remain virtually unchanged, such as the Fire Lord or the Watcher. Those who have changed radically in the last 1,000 years or so, such as the Vision and Mainframe in this issue, and new characters who are based on old ones, such as Stark. Then, to mix things up even more, we've got a bunch of new 31st century characters as well, such as this issue's Force and next issue's Malevolence. We are trying to present a fairly even mix. Let us know how we're doing, okay? Dear Marvel, the action and intensity are picking up. In issue 3, it looks as though Starhawk's efforts to secure help are too little and too late. And what of the group called Force? Interface, 6 fingers on each hand. Brawl, he used to be a member of Kovac's Minion of Menace. Scanner, Broadside, Futon, and 2 more others now possess the Book of Antag. And Interface speaks of Captain Shield as though it were Excalibur, the Holy Grail. Could it be possible that the future generations will look upon the artifacts of the 20th century as religious objects? I hope not. How did Fire Lord become the protector of the universe, and what happened to Quasar? Interface did not see the shield as a religious object, John, but he did believe in legend which surrounded it, as this issue attests. Like most legends, however, the shield was based in fact, but distorted and expanded upon time. As noted in issue 2, Fire Lord was appointed as the protector of the universe after a mysterious disappearance of his immediate predecessor, the Silver Surfer. We presume that Eon appointed him to the post. As for Quasar's fate, we suggest you continue reading his monthly comic. Dear Marvel, I have said that the Guardians of the Galaxy is a real I can't say it. It's a memory, like a remembrance thing. Trip down memory lane for me. It takes me back to my junior high school days when I was an avid collector of anything with the word Marvel on it. I was in 7th grade at the time when a classmate, who I barely knew but who knew of my self-proclaimed authority on Marvel Comics, approached me at lunch one day and showed me a copy of a mag featuring the Guardians. I borrowed the mag, read it, and never returned it. I became a fan thereafter, following the group's stint in the Defenders and the Avengers. The kid I borrowed it from and I became best friends and were so until we graduated high school. We lost touch with each other after that. I got my friend's phone number from his uncle. When I told him of how I got the notion to phone him, he laughed and reminded me that I still owed him a copy of the Guardian's first appearance. Anyway, thanks. Go out to all at Marvel who are involved in this project for uniting me after many years with two of my oldest friends. Let's keep in touch this time. Aw, that's cute. Now that's the kind of letter we're in the comic biz to read. After all of us have lost touch with friends over the years, and we are delighted to have played even a small role in reuniting you with your old buddy. But hey, R, do you think you owe him a mint copy of the old comic? Shame on you for not returning it. We hope you both enjoy our new efforts. Yo, dudes! I have loved the Guardians of the Galaxy since I first saw them, and the new book is great. Steve Montano is a great inker. Don't ever let him go. Just keep up the great work and you people are doing, and don't let us down. Newhall, California. I don't know what that's at either. We'll try not to, Owen. Oh, and we think Steve is great too. So next issue, 2 stories for the price of 1. Starhawk's origin is revealed in The Secret of Knowledge, and the Guardians must face their most powerful foe yet, the woman called Malevolence. Plus special guest superstar cover inker George Perez, all on sale in 30, all for $1 thin buck. Face it, Pilgrim, you must be living right. So funny. Oh, look, holiday specials, 50% off. Oh, look at this one. Back to the Future, Part 2 and 3. 2 exciting missions and 1 incredible game. Now it's your turn. Get ready for a wild romp through time. Your challenge, a double mission to save the past, present, and future. Here's your chance to teach Biff Tannen a thing or two for stealing your sports almanac. I know that word. Almanac. It is non-stop excitement from high-speed hoverboarding to the year 2015 to gunslinging mayhem in the Wild West. Get back to the future now and save the world before it's all too late. Another Nintendo game. Okay, and then they're back here. Have a monster of a good time. From the dungeon game, enter the dungeon game. A romp'em stomp'em roaring good time of monster bashing, dungeon crawling, treasure collecting. Explore the depths of the dungeon on your fantastic journey of mystery suspense while you search for hidden treasure. Use your powers and skills to avoid secret traps and fearsome creatures. As a dwarf, elf, warrior, magician, cleric, or a fighter on a perilous quest, you'll battle the forces of evil to find the treasure, win the game, or just survive. Start your journey today. The Dungeon board game can be found clinging to the shelves of a toy or hobby store in your neighborhood. Some of this stuff is so weird. All right, well, let's set up for some artsy stuff. I don't know how you guys like those. Hopefully you enjoyed them. We can look at our covers for our next issues. I like doing that. It's always my favorite thing. I gotta put my books away though. Okay, so 6, 7. We just did 5, 6. Okay, so this is 7. She's one of my favorite. And this is number 8. Yondo Goes Mad. Okay, that's what we're looking for next week. As long as everything goes right. Okay, so let's see. What are we going to do today? First, let's put some music on. I'm only probably do about a half an hour of art. Since I started later than I normally like to. So, hang on though. Oh, thank you for burping.
Yep.
Thank you for burping. I'm waiting for that to pop up here.
Thank you for burping.
Thank you for burping.
Burping.
That's right. Thank you for burping. Burping.
Burping for me.
Burpy. Don't be so burpy.
Oh, yeah. If that only worked.
How was the lasagna?
Still extremely garlicky.
Still extremely garlicky. I put less than what they asked for. So there you go.
But I ate as much as I could.
Well, okay. Let me put this down though. Go down. What is going on here? Thank you. Alright. Like, it doesn't want to go down and I don't know what it's doing. Alright, so here's what I'm working on. Remember? And there was our thing. And we have that to color up. And then here's our envelope, some paper in it. So I want to put some paper in this one, I think. So let me, I have some paper I've been putting aside here. So I've got these colored papers. This one, oh, they're all colored papers. So we're gonna, sorry, we're gonna photo. Hey, Single Gamer, thanks for stopping by. I'll do a shout out in just a minute. Okay, so. How are you doing today, Single Gamer? Single Player Gamer, I always mess your name up. So today we're doing, I do journal art, which is making journals for people. And this one's going in one of my daughters. So, put that in there. So I like to put lots of writing stuff in for them. Put that in this one. We're going to leave this one blank. That's all we're going to put in as that. I leave a lot blank because I want them to paint it up or color it or do whatever they're going to do with it. So, alright. So I bought some new coloring stuff and I think that's what I'm going to do is do some coloring on this. I have to think about what I want to color though. So, hang on a second. I have to move some stuff. It's gonna bump. I bought new crayons. that I wanted to open for tonight. Okay, you guys can't see that, can you? Oh. And then that one's neon. Look, neon. I got neon. I'm alright. Yeah, I'm tired today. Today ended up being a tiring day. Mostly because today I had to go and get presents for my partner whose birthday is soon. Wait, that's too funky. It's not where I want that to go. Excuse me while I mess with the camera here. Because we're doing the art now. Alright. So I got neon crayons I bought myself. And then I got swirl crayons. And then I have the infamous, very large, we're going to open them up, 120 crayons. I bought me a big thing. Now, those of you who watch me share all my art know I have a whole bunch of crayons. But I took my old set of crayons and gave them to the boys. So I need a new set. And I wanted 120. I don't know what's in it, so we'll see. And then, like I said, I got new pins. The ones I did not share are these. I got them for $5. I don't know what they are though, so we're gonna see. I'm pretty sure they're like a crayon as well. I have lots of them. Oh, not that one. I already showed that one. So this one. I think it's all of them. Nope. More. Never ends. Alright. So there's all that. How's your painting coming? Did you start yet? Single player? That's PG. Okay. So what I wanted to do, is there a pin? One of these that does not have a lid? It looks like it. Where'd it go? Oh, this one. I hope it doesn't dry out. That would be weird. But for $5, sometimes, you know, things are things. So I have to figure out how I want to do this. Maybe we'll do. They're not really into the light colors like this, I don't think. So rainbow probably wouldn't be a thing, but we could do a rainbow. Rainbows are fun. And then I'll put this in. So I don't want to do it on this side though. We're gonna leave these. This one is going to be blank for them to do whatever they want to do on it. So we're going to that side. We're going to work on this one, which I have to see. This also has a little pocket in it. See? And then there's a whole bunch of them all glued together because I did it different than I was supposed to. So I've got 3 pockets right here, and I think I'm going to color them up. So I thought maybe we'd just play around with the colors. Oh, all right. Well, you know, just make sure that, you know, they share it someplace. Do you have your, I don't know where you share any of your artwork or anything. If you're in my Discord, you could share it there. Not saying you have to be in my Discord, just saying if you were in my Discord. So I'm going to start with these ones, the neon. I think the neon's a pretty color. I also want to do some coloring books. Color stuff in here, but I haven't decided which one I want to do yet. Alright, so I want to do, let's do it this color. This color. Beep, 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 beep. I don't think it comes up that way. It should get out. Just try Discord. I don't know why Nightbot stopped being helpful with that. Let's see. Hang on. I think now you don't have to do that. You just write Discord. Let's see. I think it's just... Let's see if it's that one. No, maybe it's... There you go. There's the Discord. It's the den exclamation mark. Sorry, it's not Discord because originally I had Discord set up for something else for the witching hour. So we're gonna pull this up. And we're gonna put this one back down here. I'm gonna pick another color. Green will be fun. That was a weird sound. Roger? I'll have him check on the birds and what a blue. Blue sounds like it'd be fun. There are people who, there are adult people who do artwork in crayons. There are adult crayons, right? I guess would be what you want to say. There are adult crayons. Hey, I heard this thump. Do you want to check in there in your birds? I know they're asleep, but I swear it sounded like something fell. Like a crank. Unless something fell out in the living room.
What, just now?
Yeah.
That was my hand hitting the fucking doorknob.
No, before that. It was a few minutes before that. When you meant just now, I just meant. It was a heavy, like sound, like a cage sound. Well, it might be okay, and maybe it's because I had my headset on, so I wouldn't be able to hear really well.
Oh, they're fine.
Okay. I don't know what it was then. It was weird. I could hear it through my headset, though. That's how loud it was. And I have music playing, so it made me stop really quick going, what is that? Anyway, so in the den in my Discord, there is the art gallery, the Witching Hour art gallery, and you can share art pictures there if you want. Okay, got to stay in there. I might have to tie this. I might have to make a bobby clip, paper clip thing for this. So if that's the case, I'll have to wait and get one. We'll do that one next week. We'll make clips for this to keep things in it. Oh, thanks. Somebody will say hi to you, or not. Or not till tomorrow. People maybe could say hi to you. Anyway, so in the you can use any of the areas in there like they're your own and post whatever you would like to post. If it's something that's more adult-like, because my grandson is on it, if it's something more adult-like, we can create another channel for that. It's not that he can't have adult-like things, it's just, it make Discord uncomfortable. Discord uncomfortable. So these are the neon ones. Just because I wanted those fine lines. That's the only reason I was doing that. Now remember, I don't do this for very long because after reading 2 comic books, the way I sit here on this, it tends to bother my back. Let's go maybe 1 or 2 pages. Just so I can see my crayons, how they look. Okay, so those are kind of pretty. Some of them are really hard to see. I don't think I have a really dark color. Nope, that's the green. It's another blue. I don't think I want to put the blue on that one though. Let's do a different color on there. Maybe an orange would be nice. Okay, so I have to look to see. So that's those ones. Those are nice. I like those. Oh. These are my gel from my gel plate. Let me see. I made some gel. The kids made some gel plate. Yep. Art is life is art. Yep, that works too. But also the Witching Hour Gallery is also for whoever wants to. So these are prints from a gel plate. If I've done a gel plate before, I'll probably do some more gel plating. So if that's something you guys are like fully interested into, you know. That's cool. I want to make this one too. That'll go well with that. Where's the little scissors? Little scissors, where are you? I have the little scissors, but I'm not sure where they're at the moment, so I guess I'll use these ones. Alright, so tomorrow I'll stream. I don't know yet what I'll be streaming. Haven't decided. I think I want to visit Planet Crafter though, even though I'll be playing that on Monday. I need to go back to Infinity Nikki at some point in time. I have some, like I said, puzzle games too I'd like to play. I like puzzle games. I try to use as many of the different things that I make or paint with. Just so I'm using my papers up. So there's not as much waste. I did make some more of my, those things I was making. Let's see, they're right here. So I have this one, and I have these ones. So I can cut those and put them if I want anywhere. But what I was gonna do is I have some flowers that I want to use. Those are from scrapbook pieces, so just always try. Let's see about this one. Doop, boop, 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 boop. Remember, if there's something you really need to talk about, you can always talk to me and everybody in chat. Oops. That one came up. Don't come up. It's not nice. Okay, there's that one. I find colors very soothing. So being able to sometimes, like my pictures, I like to look at my pictures sometimes. My mixed media pictures a lot of times will have hidden meanings and stuff in them. So, sometimes not. Sometimes they're just abstract pictures that I put together. I enjoy them. I'm not big on like really super hidden meanings. Though I think sometimes we put hidden meanings on stuff even if we didn't mean it. Like, you know, so I can't. Maybe that's why I'm not like a super great artist. And things like artist stuff too, especially classical work, is based on how hard is it to create something. Which Andy Warhol kind of made that like not a thing, but not very many people are big into modern pop art or pop culture art anymore, so like I said, it's hard to tell what would be a popular art right now. I haven't seen a whole lot of I'm big into fantasy artwork and stuff. Do I know about graded cards? I do know a little bit about graded comic books. And I probably know a little bit about graded cards, but... Oh, where are you, one single player gamer? Are you the one that's interested in Pokemon cards? I got some Pokemon cards. One of my grandsons' father buys him tons of them, and then they just went through a whole bunch of them. I'm going to be getting rid of them. I would give you some, but they're not graded. And if I give them to you, I would give them to you. Like, I'm not going to give them to you for half price or anything like that. I would just give them to you because you could use them. Some of them I have to sell for them, but not all of them. So, because I have to set up my daughter's, she already has a Etsy, and we have to sell it on there, but she doesn't want to go through and make them into sets. And I was going to make them into sets with some comic books I'm getting rid of. You like trading cards. So, I've seen some of your stuff earlier on when you were showing the things you buy and some of your investment stuff you did and some of your crypto coin and some of your stocks that you did a couple years ago. There was another guy on Twitch that I used to watch over in England. To be honest, you would just sell them to. Yeah, well, maybe they'd help you out. I don't know. So, I will be getting into those in a couple weeks. And maybe we could go through, I could look at some of them online if anybody's interested. Anyway, this other guy I knew, he had a whole channel, but he's in England. But he had a whole channel, and he would unwrap whole bunches of them and put them aside, and then you would have a chance to win some or whatever. You know, I'm not into that, but like I said, sometimes if they're just going to go to somebody we all like, that's fine. I wouldn't get, you know, if I give somebody something, I'm not going to dictate them. So here's the thing. I don't dictate usually. Now, there have been some times. So there have been some times where people I've known in the past, I knew that they had kids and I would give them to them. And the only speculation for some of the stuff that I gave away was that if that possible, could they please share them on, like not sell them and pass them on. But I'm not going to go and regulate somebody and say, oh, I found out that you, like, didn't do that, because it's not me. I'm not going to regulate people. So, but I have comic books I'm going to be getting rid of. And I will allow people, if they, you know, are interested in them, depending on where they live. The problem is it does cost a bit to mail things, so And now with other things going on, I'm not sure how getting them out of the country is going to be. But I will be selling them on Etsy. Yeah, they're not graded, so I mean, we could probably grade them ourselves because you can do that with comic books. You can grade comic books yourself. You just have to follow the standardization of what they say is graded. But eventually, you have to take them in someplace and pay for them to be put in an envelope. Comic books, I don't know about cards, but you have to put the comic books in and have them seal it. None of my comic books are sealed. I don't see any fun in that. Most of my comic books, I can look at them and read them if I want. That's the whole thing. So the ones I'm getting rid of, though, I have no interest in keeping anymore. They're just taking up space. But again, that's just me. But they're not. I'm not gonna spend the money to grade them. That's me. They're not an investment for me. They never were. They were a hobby for me. Something I enjoy collecting. I understand the need to grade them, but not interested for it for myself. When grading first came out for comic books, it was the early 2000s, I think, because people were finding these great finds, and people were all like, oh, because it was like all things, it was a demand and a need. So if somebody really wanted a Final Fantasy 1, right, and they couldn't get it anywhere else, then they would say, hey, in the comic book field, if people would go to little flea markets and swap meets, and you would take your comic books into the swap meet, and you would trade. It wouldn't be for cash. You would trade for comics that you wanted. So an example was I had a consecutive run of the Spectacular Spider-Man from 1960 something. I can't remember what it was. My uncles had given it to me, all the way until 1980s. So 20 years of a run of comic books. I also had some other, the Spectacular, the web slinger or something. I don't remember what it is. I got a couple of them still here too. And I took them into a comic book store as they were just starting to be graded. And I said, hey, I can't afford my collection because I was collecting X-Men at the time. I had quit collecting Spider-Man in 1981. And there's a reason for it. Not because I didn't have money. I just started to find the comic book a little bit boring because he never grew up. And I was growing up. So what I could read when I was like 7 or 8 and 11 and 12 to what I was reading when I was 16 and 17 wasn't the same things at all. And so I was getting into Wolverine and X-Men and those kind of comic books more so because their stories more reflected some of the stuff that was going on in my life. So, feeling different and stuff like that. Peter Parker has this huge sense of heroism and honorism and stuff, and that wasn't me because I wasn't seeing it in my life at the time. So I was doing a lot of Wolverine and stuff like that. So I had these comic books, and I couldn't pay for my comic books that I wanted. So I went into this guy that I knew who had worked at a different comic book store when I first started collecting. When I was, 14, 15, when I was actually spending lots of my own. Well, I spent money since I had allowance, but I was actually paying for, more stuff. And I was all like, I've got this collection. I want to sell it to you, but I don't want money. I want credit. And he was like, you want credit? You don't want cash? I said, no, I want credit so that I can come in here and buy my monthly comic books. Can you do that? He's like, well, let me take a look at him. And you could see him getting really excited. He tried hard to have a poker face, but he was really excited about a lot of them. There was some he wasn't that excited about there, but there was a lot. So I ended up doing a trade-in for over $500 worth of comic books. Comic books probably were worth more than that, but they weren't graded. They had just started doing grading. And the only reason he took them was because he knew that he could do that. He would be able to grade them and turn them around and make money off of them. That's the only reason he did it. So he was fine. And so for quite a long time, I got comic books. I didn't have to pay for them. So, but I refused in the 90s. I gave him a bargain, that's right. I refused because I was not a collector for money. That was the thing. And he knew that. He knew I did not collect for money. I would go to garage sales and other places, and I would just collect things to complete my collection because I wanted a consecutive run. I wanted to be able to sit down and read my comic books from one to another. So like in my X-Men comic books start at like 100 and something, which is the second version of X-Men. I think it's 160 something. It's the Dark Phoenix saga, I'm pretty sure. But there's all this 100 and something comic books before that, plus there was another X-Men run before that. And I was like, I can't afford those because they were selling, even then, pretty high. Marvel came out with a thing called X-Men Classic, and I was very excited. So I started that run and bought it all the way up to where my first original one was already at. And now I have, story-wise, the complete saga of the X-Men. I will never sell those comic books. My children will probably sell them or bury me with them or something. I will never do that because the whole purpose I bought them for was so I could sit down and read them. Now, I haven't read a lot of comic books recently. And one of the reasons is because they've always been some in storage or me having to just carry them around forever. I don't know if I want to put that in there. I kind of like just how that looks. That looks pretty cool, I think. So I'm thinking I'm going to leave that one that way. We'll move on to a new one. Because I'm just experimenting with colors. Okay, so we'll do something on this side. Using these ones. The swirl crayons. Yay! So, I mean... And then I started collecting Wolverine. And Wolverine was in... The Wolverine that I originally first got was not the limited series that's very popular right now to buy. It was Marvel Team Up, and it featured Wolverine and Spider-Man because I was still collecting Spider-Man at that time. And I was like, oh, this is a new character because I didn't know nothing about Wolverine. Where's the rest of the story? It's only one. Yeah. A lot of those are just the only one thing. Yeah, what's up, buddy?
Yo, do you still have my Nintendo Switch password thingy-majig?
Do I? But I can't help you right now.
Do you have it?
I do, but I can't help you right now.
Oh.
Because I don't know where it's at. So you have to wait till I'm done streaming, and then I'll bring it out to you. Why? Did you get kicked off the laptop?
No, my Switch.
I know. You want to play the Switch, but you were on the laptop, correct?
Yeah.
So, let's see. I'm going to quit in a few minutes. I'm going to do another page of this, and then we're going to go. Heck yeah, you got to keep the whole collection. Only for the X-Men. I have a consecutive run of about 150, maybe 200 comic books of Green Arrow that I'm getting rid of. Starting from number 1 to, I don't know what it is. Comic books that had it. So, if individual comic books are worth something because there's collectors that want either to complete their collection and or want a comic book because it has a special connection to something else they're doing or because it's worth money. So there's the three things. But the only reason comic books are worth money is because people want something about them. Like either there was I just saw one of my comic books is worth more than it would be because it has a variant cover. Like it wasn't, the covers were really hard to come by. So everybody wants it because it's hard to find. That's the only reason it's worth money. It's not because it's better. It's not because it's great. It's not because it looks good. It's because it had a different cover to it. Because in the late 1990s, comic books started to realize that people would collect things because they were rare. So they started producing where you'd have one brand new comic book would come out and would have 5 different covers. And you had to collect all the covers because no one would know which cover somebody else would want. You only bought the variants, so see? So, and then there's a Marvel comic book source book that came out. And if you opened up the cover, it would make a poster and they were all connected. So you could like cover your whole room from one length to another, and the poster would just keep continuing because it was every cover that you bought. So finding covers for ones that still have their covers is worth. Yes, and error in printing can help do that. Yep. People will buy them because there's weird print colors. I think there was a Wolverine that was really popular because his costume comes off as a different color. So I thought that was ridiculous. But that's just me. I always think things are like that ridiculous. Trying to see how this works. These are swirl colors, and oh, there they are. As I said, I'm not seeing a really, but there is a difference in the colors there. So I thought that was kind of ridiculous as well, because I was a sucker. I got pulled in on some of those, and I was like, I don't know. Because after a while, I started to realize there's no difference in the comic books in it, and I don't need 5 different copies. They'd try to sell them to me, but I didn't really need 5 different copies of the same comic book. It just seemed ridiculous. And then you have to go, so to get back to the whole purpose of this conversation was, you have to take your comic book in, and how much the comic book is worth is going to then tell you how much your grading cost is going to be. When grading first came out, it was about 25 cents per copy for every comic book. So if you had a comic book that was worth $3, 25 cents wasn't that big of a deal to have it graded. But if you had a comic book that was only worth, like 35 cents, 25 cents, that's it, then you were even. You could have comic books that were worth less than their cover price, and then that would make it like not worth putting them in and you'd have no way of knowing which comic books were going to be popular when you first bought them. It was kind of like lots of things. It was kind of like you had to guess and just, oh yeah, this one looks like it's going to be worth money. I mean, I have comic books that they had predicted would be worth money and are not. They are literally worth nothing. Even though they were like, everyone was like convinced they were going to be worth a whole lot of money. They weren't worth nothing. Then I have other comic books that I got just because I loved them, and they're worth quite a bit. So I won't have them graded. They're not in great shape. I would never try to rip somebody off with that. Because that's the other thing. There's comic books I have not gotten rid of because they're just in really bad shape and they only hold sentimental value, so there's no point in having them graded. But yeah. I find, and I'm probably cards are the same way. I don't know. I don't collect cards. My kids collect cards. My son makes magic cards because you can do it on a computer now, and you can make your own cards. I have a couple of them floating around someplace. I think one's right here because I was going to use it in a. So he made this card. So you put it in, and he put in the. Can you see that? Let me see. Yeah, so he picked the artwork that he wanted, and then he said what it was, and then he wrote down all this stuff because he plays magic. So he wanted that. That's what he wanted. And you can do that with Pokemon, I've been told, and I think there's another one that you can do it with. I can't remember what it was. But you go and you build your own cards. But they're not worth anything. You're not going to sell those for anything because they're just made for playing the game. They're not made for collecting. So you have to think about that. I mean, comic books are not a good investment. I know lots of people like to think they are, but they're really not a very good investment. Because they're just kind of like stocks, I guess, in that aspect. Because you have to guess which stocks are going to be worth any kind of money, right? I don't do stocks. I don't understand it. I don't do it because for me, economic-wise, money doesn't really exist. I mean, it does. You live in a world where you have to use this piece of paper to represent your time and effort to then buy other things with it. And people have to acknowledge the worth of your time and effort to then have that money to spend. So I just don't. We should hit the casino. I love going to the casino. I am the most unlucky person though in the world, so I just don't. I tell people, do not expect me to win you any money. I play the lottery all the time. I like slots. My daughter likes to play poker. Now, Roger won't go to the casino at all. Roger's lucky. Roger's the person you hear the stories about who walks in and puts $1 down in something and walks out with like 500 $1,000. I mean, I think the most I've ever won was $100. But that was before they got all fancy dancy with their electronic stuff. So yeah, no, you know, I've been carrying comic books around with me since I was 5, 6. I started collecting when I was 6, 7 years old. My grandmother had this round closet, and she had a big, huge box buried under the benches in the round closet. It was a coat closet from Victorian style homes, farm homes, and in this huge box was comic books my uncles bought. And my one aunt had an older aunt that was the youngest of the family. And I would go there and crawl into that closet and just read comic books. That was my thing. And then I started really realizing, like you, once I learned to read, that they actually had stories that went on. And I would... So then my grandmother was going to take a whole bunch of comic books. I think it was about 6, 7 years old. She was going to take them all to the thrift store and get rid of them. They were just going to toss them out was what they were going to do. They were cleaning the closet out. And I asked her if I could have them. And she said if my mom said yes, I could have them. So I went through and picked out the ones I wanted, which were Spider-Man. I think I used to have some really old Superman. I don't have those anymore. Cause I didn't like DC at the time as much as I liked Marvel. I just didn't. I still don't. Catwoman's probably one of my favorite. Wonder Woman's another one of my favorites. I didn't really like Batman. Thought he was kind of arrogant and pompous myself, but that's just me. I like the movies better than I like comic book. So, I mean, yeah. And once I started reading, comic books are great, but I like collecting books at a certain age. I started collecting, I think I was probably in middle school, maybe high school. I started collecting books. I know I was reading books in high school, so I'm pretty sure I started buying collections. What it was is my aunts were big sci-fi readers as well. So I like these ones. I think I'll use these again. I like how they look. I was probably like middle school. My mother was an avid reader. All my aunts were avid readers. And they all and my uncles were all avid readers because they did the comic books. But they also did sci-fi books. So I started buying books. And I have a very fine collection of hard and paperback books. I don't know if any of those are worth anything either. But I did enjoy. So I guess there's a part of my brain that likes consecutive things. So I like to get all of something. If I can. All the art stuff. All the comic books. All the pencils. All cards. But I got to a point where I just didn't have enough stuff. Because I used to have figurines too. Wolverine figurines. Had a very fine collection of Wolverine figurines. I do not have that collection anymore. I opened up when I turned 50. As I've told people, I opened them up and gave them to children. So, these are these are crayons. They're like adult virgin crayons, I think. They have a very smooth texture to them. They're much easier to go on, but they have a very nice look to them. I really like them, so I'll be using these too. They're a gel highlighters is what they said, but I don't know if I'd use them as highlighters. I see how they would work as highlighters though. I just got to an age, I think, where collecting was becoming more problematic. I do still have bits and pieces of stuff. I have pins that I had for my hats from the 80s. Because I used to wear hats. And I would put pins on them like you do on your backpack. Wolverine is my favorite hero. Yeah. He was my favorite. He was my favorite. I have that one I read about, John Byrne, the limited series 1, 2, 3, 4, where he goes to Japan. I have the Kitty Pryde and Wolverine, which came out around the same year, which she goes to Japan. I have, like I said, all the X-Men. I have the New Mutants. I have Excalibur. I have X-Force, S-Factor. Other various X-Men things, various Wolverine spotlights. I have Old Man Logan. I have the run of Wolverine. I don't think I have the whole run because I think they're into 500 now. Well, they killed him off, so that changed it, and then they brought different characters in as Wolverine. So this has a very like I could rub them, see? But they don't spread like you could if you use chalk or something. They have that weird feeling like they are. It's kind of neat. I like them. I think I'll use them again. It's another yellow. I should put another flower up, I guess. I have other flowers. That's what I got. I haven't cut all my papers. I'm in the middle of cutting up papers to use for these. So put that one there. That one's kind of cool. Yeah, buddy, you're gonna have to wait. I'm not done yet. I gotta finish my thing. My grandson's really. He really did get killed. He really did. He did really killed by a tree. Did he get killed? Not for, but did he get killed by a tree? I don't think he got killed by a tree. I think Wolverine. So if I remember right, the actual death of Wolverine, because I have it someplace and I'll pull it out. Not Old Man Logan, because that's a different variant. That's a different storyline on a different timeline. Wolverine died because his adamantium started to erode his body and his healing factor couldn't bounce from it, so he died from that. So I'm guessing one of his bad guys got him, and that was the end of that. Some of the stories are very weirdly convoluted and don't make any sense, because you'll start with, like, you'll notice that with the Guardians of the Galaxy. We'll start to see it if we read a further one. But what happens is they'll start a storyline, and then some in the middle, they decide they're not doing that storyline anymore, and they'll just fall the wayside, and they pick up another story. And then you're like, well, what happened to that? How come that didn't finish out? And it didn't finish out because they choose not to, and so you don't, like, ever really find out what's going on. Or you'll find out on a different time factor, like they'll make a what if or something, and then that's where you'll find out that, oh, so-and-so died. Well, why didn't you tell the story? One of those is, I still to this day, do not know what happened to Rachel Summers when she went to space with Spiral. So I've been trying to track that story down, and I'm hoping that I got it, I just never made the connection, and when I read them all, will know. Okay, so that is that one. Actually goes this way, I think. Yep. So we did two. We did this one, and we did that one. I explored my colors. My new colors I got, which I really like. They are more crayon-y like, so I will probably use them more to color my... I have a whole bunch of these cut out butterflies. So I think I'm going to use those to color it. We'll read some Wolverine. I'll read Old Man Logan. I'll read the origins, which are how Wolverine became Wolverine. I have a comic book series called Exiles, which is alternate multiverse stuff. I've got a lot of what ifs. So we'll read all those. We'll have a good time. Anyway, I'm going to be back tomorrow. This one went on a little longer than I planned just because the comic books took a little longer. Remember, so I'll be back tomorrow. I don't know what I'll be playing. Thank you, Feely Boy, for stopping by. Thank you, Cuzwalt, for lurking out there. Thank you, Single Player Gamer, for stopping by. Thank you, Resident Drake, for floating around out there. It's always fun. I'm going to be here whether you guys show up or not, but it's always fun when people show up to watch me do silly shit. Because I am doing silly shit. Where did I don't know where they went. I'll have to find that. So anyway, I'll catch y'all on the flip side. I'm out of here. Peace.